How's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's GTA 5 video, we're going to be talking about what it's likely going to be like to purchase, own, and customize the brand new HQ Submarine that's going to be added in the Cayo Perico Heist in Grand Theft Auto Online in just a couple of days. So this was one of the big parts, not only of the information that Rockstar has provided so far, but also what they showed off in the trailer. Let's talk about that for a minute, because there was a lot going on with the Submarine. So let's just go through everything we really saw so far in that. And really the last 5 seconds of the entire trailer, all about that Submarine. And so it starts with us seeing this missile active screen, which I am assuming this is going to be like an orbital cannon at 2.0. Maybe, just maybe, it's for something related to the heist where you activate these torpedoes or missiles or, warheads or something like that. No idea, but it certainly looks like our character is controlling it here. It's then followed up by more shots of the actual torpedoes. One of our characters using some binoculars to what I would assume would look up to the surface, or at least as high as you could go, and then shows us what the submarine looks like. And it is massive from what we've seen. So we don't have exact diameter and width and height, but the thing is freaking huge just from what you can see right there. Now, that leads us to what Rockstar said on the website. They describe it as very large, very versatile, and very heavily armed submarine HQ with plenty of other surprises. So that's the description that Rockstar has provided so far. And based off of that, I'm assuming this is going to fall under the same category of one of two things: a property, or something like a terabyte, a MOC, or an Avenger. A vehicle that technically is a vehicle, but has more features than 99% of the cars in the game. So let's talk about how it will likely look like if it is a vehicle. I'm going to take a guess and say that it will very much likely be on the Warstock Cash and Carry site, unless it is added to a separate website, which is entirely possible with an update of this size and how Rockstar has claimed that this is going to be the biggest DLC ever. But I'm assuming it'll work in one of two ways, where it becomes the featured vehicle on Warstock Cash and Carry, or it ends up being added to its own website. Something that you could buy like Arena War, but specifically for the Submarine. Now, I know that there are aquatic sites. There is Dock Tees, but I feel like that's more for passengers and boats and casual vehicles, not necessarily something that is large, versatile, and very armored. So I think we're going to see it on Warstock Cash and Carry if it's going to be on the same site. So the Terabyte, it has upgrades like interior tent, interior decal, turret station, drone station, weapon workshop, specialized workshop. Obviously, that's going to be a little bit different for the Submarine. I'm assuming there's going to be different customizations that you can do, not only cosmetically, but functionally as well. But that, of course, is what the Terabyte looks like. Now, there are a couple of things that we can gather here, you'll likely be able to change the interior and some of the designs right there, because we even see that in the Avenger, where you have interior as well, gun turret, vehicle workshop, weapon workshop. Now, I would be shocked if you could have a vehicle workshop, because it's underwater, it's a submarine, so how could you get 99% of vehicles there? But you guys get the idea that some of them are likely going to be the same. And then, of course, you've got the MOC, which I think is going to be the least similar, because you're not going to choose a cab. And although you might choose different bays, the Submarine might be broken up into different blocks. And so you might be able to choose which blocks you want as far as that goes. So I think it's going to be similar to one of those three right there. Obviously going to be a little bit different. It might take some other features from other properties that we have in the game. And speaking of properties, that's sort of the second potential thing that I could see this being as, and that is a property that you end up buying. Now, if it's going to be a property, I'm assuming it's going to be on Maze Bank foreclosures. This is where clubhouses, bunkers, hangars, facilities, nightclubs, and arcades are. Pretty much every recent property has gone on this foreclosure site. So it would not be shocking if we saw a little tab there that said submarines, and that's where we would end up purchasing it. This is really the only website I could see this working on, because I don't think the executive office one would make sense for a submarine that is armed and very large and is going to be involved in a heist. But regardless, this is how I roughly think it's going to work in these one or two ways, where you're going to buy it as a vehicle or you're going to buy it as a property. Now, the only thing that's kind of swaying me that this could not be a property is if it's a property, you would think it's a fixed location, like it wouldn't be able to move. And the way Rockstar described the Submarine is very versatile. I would assume versatile means that it's mobile, you can take it to different places. So I'm going to lean towards the fact that we're likely looking at a vehicle here. Now, this brings us to the next question is once you end up purchasing it and buying it, how would you per se customize it if you wanted to do that again? Would you just have to go back to the website and make changes that way? Would you have to bring it to some sort of docking facility or center? There's a lot of unknown questions right here. It also begs the question, where is it going to be spawned in? If this is a vehicle, I would assume it would have a couple of places located around Los Santos, and even in like the more industrial areas. In fact, in the like Merriweather docks, there's actually like deconstructed submarine parts. So that would be a decent area in which you could have something like this spawn in. There's also a chance that this submarine is potentially only usable either A, during the new heist, or B, on the new island. So we don't know how usable this is going to be in other modes, like back in Los Santos and back in normal free roam. So just something to think about right there, that you don't want to get overly too excited about what Rockstar has shown us so far, because there might be some limitations in place that make it a lot less usable, like during normal situations, than you might think. Now, let's get on to the big question here, and that is price. How much is this thing going to cost? And I'd imagine that this is going to be the holy grail of Rockstar's update here, and that this will probably be the most expensive thing that you end up purchasing, aside from something like a plane ticket or another property to start the heist altogether. So if I had to take a guess based off of the Terabyte and the Mobile Operations Center and the Avenger, on its own, it's probably going to be around $1 million to $2 million, probably around with another $1 million to $2 million in upgrades alone. I mean, especially if it has some of those crazy features on there, like an orbital cannon part 2, given how armored it is going to be. Maybe it has the ability to do some crazy stuff underwater that we've never seen before. So there's a lot potentially going on here that could make this a $3 to $4 to $5 million vehicle or property when it's all said and done. So I do agree that this is probably going to be the most expensive part of the update when you do end up ready to buy it in the Cayo Perico DLC. But that right there should give you a good idea on how the new Submarine HQ is going to work, what it will likely look like when you go to buy it, customize it, store it. The only thing we don't know is how it will be used in free roam. Will it only be used for the heist? But there's a lot of questions regarding that in the island itself, so hopefully Rockstar will provide some new information soon. But let me know how you guys think this will work in the comments down below. I would love to hear from you guys down there. If you guys did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new. You want to stay up to date on all the latest GTA and all the Cayo Perico Heist DLC videos that I'll be doing here on my channel once the update actually arrives. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.